Well, the Nuremberg laws of 1935 consisted of two laws: the law for the protection of German blood and honour, and then another law which dealt with flags and so on. Basically, it stripped citizenship and nationality from the German Jews. It was done in a series of ordinances. Not just Jews, also gypsies, later black people as well. They were basically considered not part of the national German collective. The Zionists were almost alone in welcoming it. They had no problems with it because they too believed that Jews were not Germans, they were Jewish nationals. The Nuremberg laws themselves had an introduction, the 1939 version, which said if the Jews had a state of their own in which the bulk of their people were at home, the Jewish question could already be considered solved today. The ardent Zionists of all people have objected least of all to the basic ideas of the Nuremberg laws because they know that these laws are the only correct solution for the Jewish people. And as the Palestine Post, which is now the Jerusalem Post, noted, the position is regarding George Koreski that anyone who offends him, because he was the leading supporter of them, he was open in his support, is liable to severe penalties. People like the Zionist executive president Menachem Sishkin was effusive. There is something positive in their tragedy, and that is that Hitler oppressed them as a race and not a religion. Had he done the latter, half the Jews in Germany would have simply converted to Christianity, because in Hungary, where it was still the case that even converted Jews would escape being deported, they were queues round the block to become converted in the ecclesiastical office. And Joachim Prinz, he later became deputy president of the World Jewish Congress. He explained that regarding the Nuremberg laws, the Jews have been drawn out of the last secret recesses of christening and mixed marriages. We are not unhappy about it. The theory of assimilation has collapsed. We want to replace assimilation by something new, the declaration of belonging to the Jewish nation and the Jewish race. A state built according to the principle of purity of the nation and race can only be honoured and respected by a Jew who declares his belonging to his own kind. And David Cesarani, who is a leading Zionist historian, observed that the Zionists saw the pressure towards segregation as a fulfillment of their assertion that Jews were a separate nation with no place in Germany. That was in his last book, The Final Solution. Cesarani was one of the major Zionist historians who attacked Perdition, which was a play about the Kassanen trial. He had second thoughts about some of the positions he took towards the end of his life. The Zionists from the start were absolutely opposed to the boycott. Jews began boycotting from the start. Havarah, which is a trading agreement between the Nazis and the Zionists, was signed, I think it was the 7th of August, 1933. But from the very start, the Zionists opposed the boycott. I mean, for example, Kol Yisrael, which is the Voice of Israel, the radio station, on the 18th of May, broadcast that screaming slogans calling for a boycott are a crime. And referring to a recent arson attack on the German consulate, they said, "We are all anxious about our brethren in Germany, but we have no quarrel with the representatives of the German government in Palestine."